This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today is the day, man. Sin City SmackDown live tonight on the USA Network. 3 big title matches planned tonight. But on top of that, the one thing that I am looking forward to most, kind of looking forward to AJ Styles and Tye Dillinger for the United States Championship. Hopefully WWE does right by everybody, including us. We deserve a beautiful match for the United States Championship, and I'm glad Tye Dillinger has an opportunity to really showcase what he's made of with AJ Styles. I am looking forward to tonight on the WWE Network. It is the finals of the Mae Young Classic. KAIRI Sane and SHAYNA BASZLER going one-on-one to crown the first ever inaugural Mae Young Classic tournament champion. I'm going to give you my entire preview of that today. Just a little thought on what possibly could be going down tonight on the WWE Network with the finals. But today we're going to go over the quarterfinals and the semifinals and how KAIRI Sane and SHAYNA BASZLER got to where they are in the finals of the Mae Young Classic, man. Thank you guys so much for everything. If you missed Monday Night Raw review live on the channel right now, make sure you guys go and check that out. That will be the first thing you see linked in the annotation within this video. Go check that out. Almost an hour long of WWE talk from Monday Night Raw in Anaheim. Cena versus Strowman. Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan. Roman Reigns getting verbally destroyed again by John Cena. We got Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman having another colossal showdown on Monday Night Raw. The Miz burying Enzo Amore. Bunch of stuff to go over. We go over it in depth on Monday Night Raw review. Go and check that out as it is live on the channel right now. SmackDown Live review will be live tonight after the show. The Mae Young Classic review will be tomorrow morning, so do not expect it tonight. As soon as SmackDown is over, I'm going to review SmackDown, and then when I'm done reviewing SmackDown and it's uploaded to YouTube, I will then watch the Mae Young Classic final. So thank you guys for your cooperation on that. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206, please subscribe down below and hit that bell for your notifications. If you guys want to support the channel, there are several ways to do that. Number one, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Thank you guys so much. Mario Kart gameplay, little late, but it is recorded. It will be uploaded. Do not fret. Do not worry. Almost an hour long of Mario Kart rage exclusively for my Patreons. We got barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Coupon code JD17 is still active. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Get your merchandise. Hoping to have the new Enzo Amore t-shirt out very, very soon. It is in development, I should say. My buddy Connor is actually working on that. And the final way to support the show, all you have to do is listen to me here. And you guys can just use our link on Audible. Audible is still sponsoring the podcast. audibletrial.com/offthescript. All new listeners of the show get 30 days free of Audible and 1 free audiobook of your choice. I do believe Charlotte has a new book out this Wednesday. It's called Second Nature. You guys can get that for free. If you're fans of Charlotte Flair and you want her autobiography, you guys can get it for absolutely free using our unique link at Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so very much for all that you do and showing love to my sponsors. Let's talk about the Mae Young Classic, man. The quarterfinals and the semifinals. How did KAIRI Sane and SHAYNA BASZLER get to where they are? Abby Laith versus Mercedes Martinez. We've seen a common theme with Mercedes Martinez throughout these matches. And from what I perceive and from what I see, nothing really stands out at all about this 16-year veteran. Now, I'm going to change my tune a little slightly when we get to her semifinal match because she did defeat Abby Laith here. Nothing really special in this match. 8 minutes, and Mercedes wins with that fisherman suplex, that fisherman buster that has been touted by Lita. That's her go-to move. She beats Abby Laith and advances to the semifinals in the Mae Young Classic. Really nothing of importance in this match. Nothing really stood out during the match. Fisherman buster for the win, and that was it for Mercedes Martinez. They've been building her up as the 16-year veteran, and they've been building her up as this is her opportunity to finally break through after so many years, after giving her life to this business, after blood, sweat, and tears for this business. Mercedes Martinez is in the semifinals of the tournament. I knew she was going to kind of go far because of the way WWE kind of touted her and highlighted her even before this tournament began. They really made a effort to mention her several times and really promote her strongly before this tournament. So it's not really a surprise to see Mercedes Martinez this late into the tournament and then get a spot in the semifinals. Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae. Would Candice LeRae be the one to finally bring Shayna Baszler down and buy her a ticket to Miss LeRae's Wild Ride? I don't know, man. Candice LeRae is someone that I want to see more of for sure. I'm hoping WWE gives her a chance in NXT. Shayna Baszler has been absolutely dominant. There's been nobody in this tournament that has really been able to stand toe-to-toe with Shayna Baszler. Everything Shayna Baszler has done has been quick, concise, and you're going to tap. That's Shayna Baszler's thing in this tournament. Quick, efficient, tap out, advance. That's all she needs to do, man. Candice went for a handshake. Shayna Baszler turned her back to Candice LeRae. And I want to make mention of this. Nobody that Shayna Baszler has went one-on-one with in this tournament, she has shook hands with. Wait till the semifinals. Just a little thing that I noticed. And something that Lita actually picked up on commentary, which I was very surprised by because they missed a lot of things in this tournament. But Lita was very conscientious of that and picked up on that in the semifinals. Shayna Baszler missed a big boot and landed on the outside. LeRae did a suicide dive, and I don't know if it was a botch that quickly was rectified, but LeRae did a suicide dive, turned it into a tornado DDT on the steel ramp that looked absolutely devastating. Baszler missed, and it was one of those big boots where she went for a big boot and she got hung up on the ropes and then she fell to the outside. LeRae seemingly took advantage and did a suicide dive on the outside. Very, very nice spot there. LeRae applied an octopus submission hold and then a crossface taking Baszler down, and Baszler fought out of it. LeRae was trying her best to match submission style with Shayna Baszler. That was not really ideal of Candice LeRae here. LeRae went for her wild ride, swinging neckbreaker off the second turnbuckle, and Baszler turned that into a rear naked choke. So in midair, she went for Miss LeRae's wild ride, and Shayna Baszler turned that midair into an armbar and then a rear naked choke. She didn't let go of the hold. She tapped out. LeRae did. Baszler did not let go of the hold. The timekeeper frantically, repeatedly ringing the bell. Gargano came into the ring to check on his wife, and he was even intimidated by Shayna Baszler, as I know I would. Nobody wants to see her pissed off. And then the funny thing is, LeRae was down. She was, selling the effects of the rear naked choke. Gargano was, showing compassion for his wife. Baszler goes over, starts talking trash to Johnny Gargano, and then just one kick right to Candice LeRae, man. Nice little, I don't give a shit about you, get out of my ring type deal by Shayna Baszler. I loved it. Gargano was given a nasty look. He gave a nasty look right back as if, what the hell is wrong with you? So Shayna Baszler moves on to the semifinals. She's got a match now with Mercedes Martinez, and we'll talk about that as we get to the semifinals. Toni Storm. Toni Storm. My new favorite, by the way. Toni Storm versus Piper Niven. This was a match that I was looking forward to. There was one part in this match, and I'm hoping that WWE gives Piper Niven an opportunity in WWE or in NXT. I think she's fantastic. I really do. Toni Storm, you don't have to ask me. I would put her right in the top of the WWE Women's Division on any brand. That's how good she is. Both women making a wrist lock look fun in this match, man. There was a spot here where they just kind of traded wrist locks in a pinning combination. Shoulder up, wrist lock. Shoulder up, wrist lock. Multiple pins, all maintaining that wrist lock. They did not let go of each other's wrists. And then both women on their back lifted each other up. Their shoulders were both off the mat. They looked at each other upside down, released the wrist lock, and shook hands upside down. That was fun. I enjoyed that nice little spot by Storm and Niven. Piper, again, the same method in every match that we've seen her in, using her size to her advantage, big splashes, sentons. There was an avalanche in the corner where she crushed poor little Toni Storm. Toni Storm was on the defensive since the wrist lock spot until Piper missed a rolling Kevin Owens-like senton in the corner, and Toni then followed up with a running hip attack. I know many of you listening to me would love to be hit by Toni Storm's running hip attack. You know, very nice, very nice. Piper then hit her finisher, which is called the Piper Driver, which Toni Storm, the only woman to kick out of Piper Niven's finishing move. The Piper Driver only got a near fall for a 2 count. She then goes to the top rope for a Vader Bomb. Storm then grabs her by the waist, does a release German suplex off the second rope. That was pretty much it for Piper Niven, man. The song is over. The concert's over. There's no encore here for Piper Niven. So Storm went to the top rope with a super leg drop off the top rope for a 3 count. Toni Storm is advancing to the semi-finals of the Mae Young Classic. Very nice match. Piper Niven has had solid matches throughout this entire tournament. Toni Storm, I will mention her more in the semifinals of this thing. She is going to face KAIRI Sane or Dakota Kai. This was a very, very good match for Dakota Kai. KAIRI Sane, obviously, the odds-on favorite to win this entire thing. One thing that I noticed about this match, though, with Sane and Kai, Dakota Kai looked to be limping just a little bit. I don't know if you guys noticed that in this match. Also sporting more of a straight hair look. She changed her hairstyle from the last match that we seen with Rhea Ripley to this match with KAIRI Sane. Very hard-hitting early on. Nice to see Dakota Kai in this type of match. Hard-hitting. It reminds me of how much Bayley has fallen off, because Dakota Kai reminds me so much of Bayley. This is how Bayley should be. This is how Bayley should fight. This is how Bayley should wrestle. You know, Bayley seems to be like all fluff in the ring. And when I see women like Dakota Kai that is very reminiscent character-wise of Bayley, it reminds me how much Bayley really isn't that much of a big deal anymore. How much she's really fallen off from NXT. So I'm loving what Dakota Kai is doing right now, and I'm hearing that she is indeed signed to a developmental deal in WWE. Can't wait to see what they do with her moving on into the future of NXT. KAIRI hit a beautiful blockbuster neck breaker in this match. Dakota had a beautiful shining wizard on KAIRI Sane. Very physical, like I said. Both women really didn't hold anything back. KAIRI hit a 6 spear. Kai battled back to hit her with her version of Sami Zayn's Helluva Kick for a near fall. She does it a little bit differently than Sami Zayn. She kind of circles the ring and then gains a full speed of momentum and then hits you with the Helluva Kick. Sami just makes a beeline, straight line right to you with that Helluva Kick. KAIRI hit the same back fist that got Bianca Belair knocked out on Dakota Kai, but not as brutal. That one to Bianca Belair, I'm still feeling it, man. But she did get that back fist on Dakota Kai. Both women battled on the top rope for position. And Dakota Kai ended up in a tree. I'm sorry. KAIRI Sane ended up in a tree of woe as both women battled on the top rope. Dakota, seen an opening to do a double foot stomp, missed because KAIRI Sane actually did a sit-up and evaded the double foot stomp. And she came down to Dakota Kai and she landed on her feet, but her knee buckled. So that was going to be a turning point in this match. She came down trying to do her finishing move, but she missed and then kind of injured her knee, which was going to play into the story of this match. KAIRI hit that same back fist, like I said. We got the Tree of Woe and the double foot stomp missing. KAIRI hit a flying forearm off the top. She pulled herself off to the top rope, or up to the top rope. KAIRI Sane flew off with a flying elbow off the top. Dakota Kai battled back again to attempt her Helluva Kick again and missed. KAIRI did an Alabama slam towards the end of this match that would make Bob Holly fucking smile from ear to ear, followed by the elbow from the heavens, dropping that big elbow off the top rope for a 3 count. KAIRI Sane in a very good match with Dakota Kai in the main event of episode number 7, the last match of the quarterfinals. It's going to be KAIRI Sane and Toni Storm in the semifinals of this tournament, man. So we got Shayna Baszler, Mercedes Martinez, KAIRI Sane, and Toni Storm. The final 4 women of this tournament. Shayna Baszler versus Mercedes Martinez to start episode number 8. The last episode before episode number 9, which is the finals tonight on the WWE Network at 10 p.m. Eastern following SmackDown Live. This match was built as teacher versus student. Both women are actually stablemates in Shimmer. And Mercedes Martinez says that she's taught Shayna Baszler a lot of what she knows. Shayna Baszler, very respectful of what Mercedes Martinez has done with her and guided her and being her mentor. So there's mutual respect here for both of these women. Now, the one thing that I mentioned before, and one thing that Lita picked up on, especially with Candice LeRae giving Shayna Baszler the handshake and Shayna Baszler turning her back on Candice LeRae, as if she doesn't respect anybody in this tournament. She's here for herself. But when she's staring down Mercedes Martinez, Shayna Baszler goes to shake Mercedes' hand, and there's a handshake in the middle of the ring. The only handshake that Shayna Baszler has had in this entire tournament. Just keeping a nice little eye on that, man. Nice little fun little aspect of what we've been seeing throughout this tournament. Mercedes was very stiff in this match. I've been very hard on Mercedes Martinez in this entire tournament because there's nothing really there that stands out to me as special. She's 16 years in the business, but there's really nothing there, nothing that I've seen showcased in this tournament that's going to really make me say, wow, like watching a Kairi Sane or watching a Piper Niven or watching a Toni Storm or a Dakota Kai or a Rhea Ripley, or a Bianca Belair. Really nothing stood out to me about Mercedes Martinez until this match. Now, I seen a little glimmer of what I hope to see in the future if WWE gives her a chance in NXT. She was very stiff in this match, and I'm guessing she had to be, being that she was up against someone the likes of Shayna Baszler. Very stiff in this match. Some brutal knife-edge chops that clearly left an impression on Shayna Baszler's chest. Shayna's chest was all red from those sick knife-edge chops. Big overhand forearm shots. Very stiff from Mercedes Martinez. There was a moment in this match where Baszler had a knee bar applied for a very short time. That moment would come into play later and tell a bigger story for this match. Mercedes went for her Fisherman Buster, but she couldn't go for the pin. She nailed it one time. She couldn't go for the pin. That's where the knee came into play. She did the Fisherman Buster, couldn't go for the pin because her knee buckled and she couldn't make her way over to cover Shayna Baszler after hitting her finishing move. So the effects of the knee bar came into play to tell a story in this match. Shayna soon after got her finisher applied, which is a Falcon's Arrow into a rear naked choke, and that was a submission victory for Shayna Baszler. After the match, Triple H and Stephanie came to the ring and presented roses to Shayna Baszler, and everybody stood in the ring and raised their arms. Shayna Baszler is in the finals of this tournament, and she will face the winner of Kairi Sane and Toni Storm. Shayna really wasn't pushed to the limit in this tournament up until this point, and I'm assuming they really had this tournament well laid out. They knew what they wanted to do with this tournament. They wanted to put Shayna in the ring with somebody she was very familiar with, and they did make Mercedes Martinez look as strong as possible in this match against Shayna, even though she was probably the one going into this thing that was going to end up losing anyway. So they did make Mercedes Martinez look as good as possible in defeat. They really played up that whole aspect of teacher versus student. She looked good. She got some nice offense in on Shayna Baszler, where nobody else in this tournament has been able to do anything close to what Mercedes Martinez did in this tournament to Shayna Baszler. So she did look good in defeat, but ultimately Shayna Baszler is advancing to the finals to face the winner of this next match, which to me, this match was the second best match of the tournament outside of Kairi Sane and Bianca Belair. Kairi Sane in pretty much the most must-see matches in this tournament, and a lot of that has to do with her. I understand that Bianca Belair only has 1 year experience. Kairi did do whatever she had to do to make her look good. Toni Storm more than capable of handling things on her own. These were just two of the best in this tournament going at it, and I couldn't be more pleased with the outcome of what these two women produced in this match. There was clear-cut respect right from the get-go, handshake, both women very familiar with one another. Kairi came off the top rope early and missed. She missed and landed on her feet. I don't know what she was going for. I think she was going for a forearm early. She landed on her feet, and it scared the living shit out of me because when Kairi came down, she kind of buckled. Both of her knees buckled, and that's the way you get injured, man. You know, it wouldn't be the first time I've seen somebody do something like that and execute something like that and be injured. She just buckled a little bit, and that's the way you get yourself injured for 9 months to a year. You know, you could blow an ACL, you could tear a knee ligament. So that scared the living shit out of me when she came off the top rope and her knees buckled. I'm very happy with Toni Storm in this entire tournament. If there's one person that I want WWE to sign, it's Toni Storm. She is fantastic. I love her look. I love her theme music. I love the charisma that she possesses. She always has commanded your attention throughout this entire tournament, man. If there's one thing that I look forward to most, it's seeing Toni Storm in this tournament. I'm happy that she was featured this late in the tournament. I'm glad that she got a spot in the semifinals. Glad she got a match with Kairi Sane. She had the best look and the most charisma in this tournament. She was the one woman that you wanted to see more of outside of the usuals like Baszler and Kairi Sane. So she definitely has all eyes on her, and I'm hoping WWE signs her to a deal for NXT. She's so good that she could be on Raw or SmackDown at this very moment. That's my opinion of Toni Storm after this tournament. Now, after the tournament was over, and after the results have come in, it was reported that Kairi Sane had a concussion, which she was cleared of a few weeks after the tournament had concluded. This is where the concussion came from, and I'm 100% certain of that. This spot. There was a spot where Kairi came off the top rope with a crossbody on the outside, and her head, as she came down on top of Toni Storm, her head smashed the steel ramp on the entranceway, and the referee came over immediately and started looking at Kairi Sane. She had this glazed over look as she laid flat on her back. No doubt in my mind, if she had a concussion, it came from that spot. Unbelievable spot that really was unnecessary, and Kairi took a really, really nasty fall on the way down. There was a nice spot where Toni Storm went for her hip attack once. She nailed it, went right back to the other corner, did it again, and Kairi exploded out of the corner with a big spear. Both women traded blows. Storm was down. Kairi went up to the top for an elbow, got caught. So the attempt at the elbow, Toni Storm caught her. Toni executed a beautiful perfect plex. She took Kairi off the top rope into a suplex position, into a package suplex position, and did and executed a beautiful perfect plex that would make Mr. Perfect proud. Very close near fall on that exchange. Toni then applied an armbar during this match that looked absolutely brutal. At the beginning, it didn't look brutal, but when she started to rear back and just tear back on Kairi's arm, my God, Kairi's arm was being bent in ways that an arm should not be bent. Kairi didn't tap. Toni went for a super leg off the top rope, which she landed, but it was more like a big senton splash off the top. She literally came down right across Kairi's back instead of doing a leg drop. That got a near fall. That took more out of Toni than it did Kairi. But soon after, Kairi applied what looked like to be a modified sharpshooter. She kind of crossed Toni Storm's legs and reared back, pulled back on her back. She climbed the top rope for her diving elbow drop right across Toni Storm's back that was injured during that last submission move. 1, 2, 3. Kairi Sane beats Toni Storm in the second best match that this tournament produced. Unbelievable stuff by both women. I can't wait to see more from these two. Kairi Sane advances to the finals of the Mae Young Classic tonight on the WWE Network. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler in the finals of the Mae Young Classic. Now, I do have one fear. I'm hoping that WWE makes the right decision here. Obviously, WWE's planted seeds for the 4 Horsewomen versus the 4 Horsewomen feud at Survivor Series. That much is known. But I'm hoping that WWE did not book this tournament. And I'm hoping WWE doesn't give this tournament to Shayna Baszler all for that match. This tournament is supposed to make a new name in WWE. It's supposed to bring a spotlight to someone who realistically should be the one to replace Asuka in NXT. That woman is Kairi Sane. Shayna Baszler doesn't need this tournament. That match, if done with the Horsewomen, is going to make Shayna Baszler a household name in WWE anyway. That's going to be featured on a major pay-per-view. So if you already have plans for Shayna Baszler to be featured in something that the main roster is doing at one of their big 4 pay-per-views of the year, she realistically doesn't need this tournament tonight. She doesn't. This tournament needs to go to Kairi Sane because Kairi Sane is going to take this, and she's not going to the main roster. She's not going to Raw. She's not going to NXT. She's not going to SmackDown. She's going to NXT. She's going to be the one to replace Asuka. So she needs to win this tournament because Shayna Baszler obviously has bigger plans for her outside of the Mae Young Classic. Now, it's okay to have an intertwining storyline within the tournament. But don't let it result in something that Shayna Baszler does not need. You got to think of it in a way of which of these women needs this more. If Shayna Baszler is already primed and ready for a major match with Bayley, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte, then there's no reason for her to win the Mae Young Classic. Kairi Sane needs the Mae Young Classic, and Kairi Sane needs to take that, build momentum, and become the new women's champion down in NXT, and replace Asuka, and really bring prestige back to that title, because that's seemingly what they've done here. They've built Kairi Sane up as the underdog, as the much smaller woman, as the woman that's got the biggest heart out of all 32 women in this tournament. That's exactly what Asuka has done. Kairi Sane has fought through everybody, different sizes, different backgrounds, different styles in this tournament. Asuka did the same thing down in NXT. Kairi Sane is the one woman who is perfect to take that prestigious streak and that dedication and passion that Asuka bestowed upon that women's championship in NXT, and she needs to be gifted that as well, because everything that Asuka was, we see a lot of that in Kairi Sane. There's no better woman to take Asuka's spot than Kairi Sane. Like I said, Shayna Baszler is going to be going on to bigger and better things. She doesn't need this tournament. And the one who I think is going to win it is Kairi Sane. I'm hoping WWE thinks the same thing tonight. And I think it's going to be better off for Kairi Sane in the end. That is my Mae Young Classic review of the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Thank you guys so very much. Hope you enjoyed all the reviews of the Mae Young Classic. I will see you guys with my full-fledged review of the Mae Young Classic final tomorrow morning. Tonight, we're only going to worry about SmackDown. So make sure you guys tune into that. It depends on how it is, man. It's probably going to get more views and more discussion in the SmackDown Live review. It really depends on how I'm feeling. If I want to watch it tonight, I'll cover it tonight. But we'll see what happens, man. It's all going to depend on how I feel. If not, we'll cover it tomorrow morning in its own video, because there are going to be other matches that are going to be taking place tonight as well, outside of the final between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Either way, you're going to see me tonight for SmackDown Live, so make sure you guys tune in to that. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206 and hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you turn on that bell for all notifications, man. Thank you guys so much. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tonight for Sin City SmackDown in Las Vegas for SmackDown Live, man. I'm JD. Make it a great Tuesday, and I'll see you guys later for SmackDown Live.